Hello, it's Jesse here, and welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage. And we're working on more Norton Mk3 stuff as we start working on rebuilding that bike. This time we're working on the head for the motor, and this was the original head that came with the that bike parts group, and it was RH4 head. RH4 heads are known for being kind of like, I don't know, something wrong with them. You were saying about the wall
because they're 73 and 75. They had 32 millimeter ports, like the 72 Combat head. Except in the 850 heads seem to crack underneath the intake ports, right under here where the spring seats down. It boards so thin that it's thin there. And some of them were cracked from the factory when they pressed guides in, or however they put them in. And if it's not cracked then, sometimes when valve guides get replaced, either getting them out or putting them in, they crack them. And so, because it's thin here. The RH10 head is 30 millimeters, so you got a lot more thickness under here, and those heads are not prone to cracking as easily as the RH4s. RH4 is a good head. It works good. If you got a good one, it's a good one. And this one seems to be good. We had it crack checked. There is no cracks, and it came with kibble white valves, but it had old springs, and one valve was missing. So I ended up buying one new kibble white valve, and I put a new set of springs in it and had it, well, and took it to the shop, and they did it for me, and made sure that they were seated right. And so it should, and then we put new intake seals in it. So it's ready to go. So all we got to do now is put the rockers in, and
we're going to kind of go over that procedure. But anyway, like with the 74 series that we did when we rebuilt that motor, we didn't have the head as far apart as this one is. This is pretty much as far as you want to kind of go. I mean, you can go as far as you want, but other than having the valves completely removed or whatever, this is as far as it is takedown procedure pretty much. So we're going to put rockers in and get it ready to be put on the motor. Then we'll start working on the motor.
I also bought mushroom adjusters for it. The mushroom adjusters save wear on the tips because it's a broader, bigger area, and it's radiused nice, so that when it's lifting, it rolls instead of slides so much. And so it's easier on the guides. Now there's two different kinds of mushroom adjusters out there, so beware. There's the type that have the real thick head here, like this is, which is the preferred kind as far as I'm concerned. There is another kind that doesn't have this coppery look, and the head is only about half that thick, and they're prone to break. The edges of the mushroom crack off and fall down into your motor, so be careful of those. Those also have a slot for adjusting for a screwdriver. This has an Allen in it. These are very, very nice, and I've had zero problems with these, and I use these on almost all of our Nortons. So I already got a set of these in. You got to put these in before you put them together, because lots of times you can't lift them high enough, especially if you got push rods in it. You can't get them high enough because you got to screw them in from the bottom. And when you have them in here, it doesn't lift high enough to get it to screw in. So you do it now. And I already did that. So there is a Thackeray washer, and most all heads, or at least rocker assemblies, have at least one shim. sometimes you need more than one shim. Sometimes I've seen motors with 2, and I have extreme times have seen one with 3 on one valve. The idea of the shim is to take what it takes necessary to get the center of this to be in the center of the valve. So you shim it so that it's not offset like this way or like that way by adjusting center. Okay? So in the bag there was one shim, one Thackeray washer, one shaft, and one rocker. So, and this one says it's the right exhaust. Well, this happens to be the right exhaust, so most likely this is where we will see if it needs. Now you also have a flat, a hole, and a hole here. And you always put these holes apart from everywhere. So this slot has got to go in this way on the exhaust, and it's got to go in this way on the intake. Because if you put it the other direction, then what happens is because this slot lines up with the cover. Well, I'll show you that in a little while. And there's notches there, and it keeps it from turning. But anyway, if you put it this direction on both of them, or whatever.
The flat spot to the inside?
If you put it to the inside, this is where the oil comes from. It will flood the head, and you will get lots of smoking and lots of oil on the top end. And what it amounts to is there's an oil hole here, right there, inside.
Okay,
it goes to this push rod hole. Okay, so if you think about it, then what it amounts to is
that slot has to be in there with it.
That slot has to be in there like that. And let's see, where is it? This is the right. And so it goes this way against it. And that might not make sense to you, but what it amounts to is if you put it this way, it's a clear path and it just floods out everywhere. So what it amounts to is it gets oil when it moves back and forth, and it's enough to lubricate everything.
At certain times when it moves.
At certain times, yes. And it's good. That's how they designed it. Some of the earlier Nortons didn't have this flat, and they had spirals all the way around. But when they did that, they had a 3-start oil pump, and the Commando has a 6-start, so it has twice the oil flow as the old style. So you got to have this kind of rocker shaft. So this is the right. It's got to go in there. I want to see what this looks like here. It would have had the shim. Just like that. There we go. Yeah, not perfect. Then the Thackeray, you squeeze this in and it goes up against the inside here. Now we gotta get that to slide in there, sneak in there, whatever it takes. those. Okay. Then I have some more parts out here. I got spare shims if we need them. Now this is a one-piece stainless steel cover here that's going to hold this.
And
the nice thing about
cover.
This nice thing about this is it's solid one piece and it's a little thicker. Like some of the two-piece kind, factory kind, there's just two little divots that stick out, very little, and sometimes they'd hardly stick out enough for when you put a gasket on it to even do anything. So
oh, wow, okay.
Now all I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that I'm square. What I mean by that, see, I wouldn't be able to, if it's turned, I wouldn't be able to start this. So I'm sitting in a pretty good spot right now.
Not talking about this part right here, where these threaded holes here are 1/4 weren't they?
Yep, 1/4.
And then there's special threads in these heads everywhere. So we got like 26 thread, which
Right
is
here.
hard to find taps. So don't be just running any old tap in there. It's 26 threads. Don't run a 24 or a 28 in there.
This is 26.
And those are 26 as well. That's like the British thread or whatever we want to call it.
Sometimes the British called it cycle thread. Might be enough. We'll see here. I got to get a gasket. Should need more gaskets in here too. There they are. Okay. So with these covers, we only need the one gasket, the one with the hole in it. So what you want to make sure now is that this is not proud of the gasket.
Okay.
So we got to go in just a little bit more. I don't want to go in too far, but and then what you're trying to do is so that you don't get it buried too far, you know, so that you can, but you want, see, I'm still a little proud.
Yeah, because then what ends up happening is when you go tighten it down, it bows and leaks or whatever.
Yeah, we got to get it. It's got to be just about flat. I don't want to stick it in and then pull it back out. That's probably pretty darn close. It's just slightly proud. Enough to locate the gasket. I don't know. Maybe I'm still too proud.
Yeah, it teeters just a little bit.
It's a lot less than it was. There it is.
Yep, no teetering. All right.
No teetering. So
Or whatever you want to call it.
I think I'm
Rocking, no rocking.
I think I'm good. I want to make sure I don't have to turn it. If I have to turn it, looking good. Okay, so now I put on 2 copper washers. Copper washer under each one of these heads.
All right. We went and got a wrench for the bolts there, but just checking to make sure it still looks like it's centered or not.
It's pretty darn good. It may be off a little, but I don't know if one shim might be too much. See, that's the whole thing. So I'm gonna say it looks really good. If you can see that.
See if we can see that.
It's centered well over that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. On to the other side.
Yes. These bags are old, but this bike has been sitting around apart for a long time, and the bags have been. Fortunately, the inside of the bags are pretty clean. But... This one feels a little dry compared to the other one. The other one I had apart.
Lifted already?
Yeah, messed with it a little early. It hurt to put a little. Well, it feels like the other one did. Just give it a little taste. Okay. This one had one shim also. That is the pretty common, just one shim. There is some that could have 2. I dropped it. There it is.
It fell off.
Yeah, it fell off. I had this in too far. There we go. There we go. Now we can check it right now. Put it up against the shim. It might be slightly off center. But like I said, I don't know if 2. I can pull another one just for
just to check, maybe it
just
will
for
look better.
reasons to look and oops. I went the shim again. Where'd he go? There.
There it fell out.
There. Seen it laying there. So we'll put 2 in this just to see how 2 line up. Actually, two line up really nice.
Yeah, it looks really well centered.
Yeah. So this one could have probably used two. Okay, we'll make sure the flat's facing the front. Make sure we're lined up. Oh yeah. I better put the Thackeray in there, huh?
Yeah, I suppose.
There we go. Got ahead of myself. Would have figured that out in a minute.
Yeah, I've been like, why we got so much
Parts left over.
left and right play on this thing? Yeah, our parts left over.
And you gotta move this spring around a little. Till you get it to okay, now we're gonna check it for squareness. They make a fancy tool for squaring these, but I found it never needed it, so.
One you can use the actual thing and square it with yourself.
Yeah, well, you can use it. If you got a nice, large, fat screwdriver, you can turn it. They're not that hard in here.
Yeah, you're not going to damage it with that screwdriver. It's easy as they move.
It seems like this side of the head's tighter than this side of the head, so as long as you don't drive it in too far and try to turn it. Let's see what we did here. It don't look too bad. Yeah, I might top her just a little bit. See there?
Oh, yeah.
Barely. It's so close. I'm just going to put it in just a little bit more. There we go. That should do her. Yeah. Okay. Put a copper washer on. I put the rough edge, the sharp edge in, so that the round edge sticks out. Well, you know, it'll work either way, but it looks better this way. Because there's a rounded side.
You know. If you get in the habit of paying attention,
it's just like a washer, a regular washer.
Yeah, a lot of times we put the biting edge or that sharp edge to the inside.
Yes.
Always the finished edge, the curved edge to the outside, just for cosmetic looks and functionality because it helps kind of like grip. But if you get in the habit of actually paying attention to how you put the washer on, you're always going to have the washers going the same way, most likely. And that's what we really want. That way it looks decent.
Okay. 2 down.
All right, on the intake.
Right intake.
All right, so right intake here.
The bag is marked right intake, but I got to be honest with you. The intakes and exhaust intakes are longer, exhausts are shorter. And if you tried, this is the left side. If you tried to put the left one in the wrong side, it won't go because it hits the head over here. It's got to go. It's got to go like this. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to go just like this.
Yeah, it fit right in. It didn't go any other one.
That's where the valves are the push rods are there. If I'd be trying to put it over here, that would mean that this push rod would need to be over here. See, so
Yeah.
they only fit one. Well, they would only be correct one way.
So this one had 2 shims in it. This bag did. So we'll start off that and see how that looks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so with these slots, they go opposite of each other. So now this intake one's going this way.
Yep. They always face away.
And that one went that way.
Yep. They face away from center. I'm going to lay it over this way so they don't fall off.
So we put the shims on first because it's easier this way. I mean, you probably could do both ways, right?
Yeah, you probably could.
But it'd be harder to slide these 2 in later on the other end than it would be to do that Thackeray washer.
The Thackeray washer has got to be to the inside.
Oh, it does have to be. That's a good thing to know.
Well, that's where they put them.
The book even probably shows it that way too. So.
Yeah. There it is. These haven't been opened yet.
Yeah, I got that washer in there really nice. So.
There it is. Sometimes you can turn it nice and loose. Okay. I'm up too far yet. Got to be just about flush. That's Hey, look at there. No rock. No rock. I hit it. Okay. Let's double check it. Oh yeah, perfectly in the middle.
So you get a good shot at that. Okay, yeah.
Last one.
Yeah, onto the left intake now.
And this one has two.
I almost wonder about that one that had one now.
It is that one is we might pull
That
it
one
back.
was good though, but
It was close. We could pull it back and add. I got another one.
just because everybody else says too, you know. But center is what matters.
Yeah. We'll look at it closer. Okay. And there's an oil hole right here.
Okay.
That goes straight through. Your overhead oiler goes through here, and this is a banjo bolt with a hole in it. See?
Right.
So oil goes into there, feeds both directions, goes through this slot. That's why this slot in this cap can't be too deep, because it's got to feed oil through the center and out this hole. And it's got to pressurize this. And so that's where it gets its running oil. So. Dropped one of them, fell right off there. Imagine that. Kind of over to get them in there. The intakes are the harder ones. There we go. How does this one line up? Well, you definitely wouldn't want one.
And yeah, one more would probably push it.
Push it too far.
Now with intakes, you're putting two in one hole, and the exhaust ones they got their own their own area. Looks like there's a little bit more room for on there. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, no, I could probably put 3 in here, but you don't want it too far over either, see? And you don't want to bind the Thackeray. I mean, I suppose we could put 3 there, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, where the shafts go in, right where that center piece there, they kind of like almost touch each other when they're in there.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. See how square we are. Should be 2 bolts left. Yeah, we're off. So you can see how crooked we are.
Oh yeah, the thread holes don't line up.
Yeah, not at all. It's a little crooked.
There, it threads now.
Yeah, it's nice.
It
and
sounds like
centered
it's,
well.
yeah. I was gonna say it sounds like there's some clearance there with the bolt and the piece.
So I put a gasket on it. Should be another one of them somewhere. There it is.
Oh yeah, it's laying underneath the envelope.
Oh. I'm getting ahead of the horse here. I'm not ready.
What happened?
Well, I gotta drive it in.
Yeah, whoops.
I got ahead of it.
You're all excited about it being lined up, and then
Yeah, it's
freaking
perfect.
you're pulling in with the screws, the bolts. Probably shouldn't do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Got too excited. Okay, now without the bolts, with this, and with this. Yep, see solid.
Well, there we are. Pretty much got the head together completely.
Yep, ready
We could
to-
probably put the covers on and stuff if we wanted to, but but we're gonna need to take it back off when we go to put the push rods and all that stuff in.
Now let's look at this one again. This is the one that just has one shim. See our little trick here. Put that in there like that.
Then you can see if you need it or not.
How does that look? Well, to be honest with you, it looks better.
Okay. Yeah, it does look better. You see about the same on both sides.
So in this case, that bag should have had 2 in it, but it didn't for some reason. So we're going to give it 2. It's not a big deal.
I think we'll see how we pull the rod or the shaft out now and all that other stuff. So, what the heck, right?
I use the same service tool.
Yeah. Slide hammer. Works pretty slick.
It's a Norton tool that they make for this job. So one side over here is for the auto advance. This side is for this. I think I'm gonna have to pull the factory too, so it'll be easier. I just start over. There's the washer.
Fall down inside.
Right here, yeah. Where'd it go? I heard it.
Right here.
I heard it go.
They're over here. Blends in with our background there. Here we
Where's
go.
the other one at?
I got them both.
Okay, you got them. That's what I need. I'm going to make sure this is still. I'm going to add some more. I oiled it earlier, but I run it in and out. Probably scraped it all off. Just because. It's over here. Yeah, it's still loose. I don't think you can put too much in it. Okay, here we go. We'll see how it likes two.
It's kind of nice. This head came with Kibble white valves. I mean, we like to use them in everything. We got them in the flathead. We got them in my Norton, the silver one, and
got them in my Bonneville.
Yeah.
Got them in your Bonneville and your Tiger.
Yeah.
Whenever we need valves, we put Kibble whites in.
Yeah. We're not really trying to promote them, but it's just that
they're good valve. They're
good
stainless,
valve
and
yeah.
the black diamond is just a really nice valve. It's my favorite valve anyway. There he goes. Tell right now it's aiming down.
Yeah. Do it enough, you can kind of almost see it, but still need to check it with the check it.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
And yeah, just so we can see the groove you're checking anyway. That groove on here with the groove on this.
Yep.
See if I can see that better. Here we go. Here we are. Now we'll just come back and put the caps on just for storage purposes and see what it looks like when it's all done. There we go. Putting the covers on real quick just so it can sit around look all pretty. Paperweight on the desk or something. Nah, so this bike will be going together pretty quick actually. Got the transmission done. We got this head now done. We'll be working on the motor and get ready to put the bottom end into the frame pretty much next, huh?
Yep.
Now we usually modify these gaskets, but we're not going to do it right now because
I don't have the punch here.
but yeah, we're gonna We have to take all this part away anyway when we go to get it all set on the head, on the rest of the motor anyway. So
we're just gonna get it all together. So.
But in the Norton Tech Manual, it talks about from the Norton Owners Group, right?
Yep.
International stuff. In the actual book, it talks about notching those lower holes there, so they actually. We talked about that a little bit when we were working on that silver.
That's so when
74.
oil's splashing around, it don't sit up here. See, because there's a gap. There's a gap here. So if you notch that out right here on each side, when oil goes down on here, it drains out and doesn't sit here and then leak out of the cover. Works actually really well. I put a notch on both sides.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, this pretty much comes to the end here. I hope you enjoyed everything here with putting this head together. And we'll see you again soon. And yeah, there it is. So, till next time.